Good day, and welcome again to Learning Pharmacology with me, Nurse Myron. For today's learning activity, we will be discussing your antihelminthics. For our full disclosure, I am not affiliated with any of the manufacturers of the drugs or other items mentioned in this lecture. The mention of such brand names are only in passing and for educational purposes only, and are not for commercial promotion. I have no actual or potential conflict of interest in relation to this presentation. So let us begin with a review of the microbiology and parasitology of our helminths. What are helminths? By definition, helminths are parasitic worms. They are multicellular eukaryotic organisms that can cause infections in humans and other animals. These include dogs, cats, and other smaller mammals. Helminths are large macroparasites. An adult helminth is generally seen with the naked eye. How many kinds of worms are out there? Well, to review, there are basically a lot of them, thousands. So we will be mentioning only some of the more common helminths that can infect humans. These include your roundworms, also known as your nematodes. This includes the common roundworm, your Ascaris lumbricoides, the pinworm, or Enterobius vermicularis, and other roundworms such as your whipworms, threadworms, and hookworms. The other kind of worms that can infect humans are the flatworms. Scientifically, they are known as your platyhelminthes. So these include your tapeworms or the cestoda, such as the different Taenia species usually found in beef or in pork products, and the flukes, also known as your trematoda, which can be seen in the lung, in the liver, or even in the blood. Given the many different worms, we have many different common helminthic infections in humans. To name a few, we have trichinosis, which is caused by Trichinella spiralis, which are larvae that can be found in undercooked pork products. When ingested, this can invade the human person and affect the muscles. Filariasis is a nematode larvae that can be transmitted by insects, which can cause lymphatic disease in a human person. And lastly, we have schistosomiasis. This is very common in rural areas, especially in plantations with freshwater access, such as streams or smaller rivers. And these are caused by your schistosoma species and transmitted by freshwater snails. So how are these helminths transmitted? The most common transmission of helminths is through the soil. When a human is infected with these worms will reproduce by laying eggs, which can be passed in human feces. When these excreta contaminate the soil, and another person, usually a child, touches the contaminated soil and then will right after eat or touch his face, touch his mouth, or even an open wound, that person can be infected. Aside from soil transmission, we also have your insect vectors, where the worms can be transmitted through the bites of certain insects. For example, filariasis can be transmitted by mosquitoes. And lastly, certain helminthic infections can be transmitted through the ingestion of contaminated food, such as their trichinosis, which, as was mentioned earlier, can be found in undercooked pork products. So how do we prevent helminthic infections? Prevention is actually quite easy. Observe proper hygiene. Frequent hand washing by using soap and water, or at least with alcohol-based hand rubs, is one of the most effective and perhaps the easiest way to prevent helminthic infections. Likewise, we should also keep our nails short and clean. We should avoid touching contaminated soil. We should observe proper hygiene by showering regularly and changing and laundering our clothes, especially our undergarments, our beddings, our pajamas. And lastly, to prevent helminthic infections, we should also observe bathroom hygiene by flushing the toilet and regularly cleaning our bathroom. So let us now move forward to the different anti-helminthic drugs that are available in the market. Anti-helminthic drugs are effective in expelling or killing the parasitic worms inside the body. Some drugs will agitate the worms so that they will leave the human body through feces, or in certain cases, through vomitus. Other drugs, on the other hand, can directly kill the worms themselves. Other drugs can also paralyze the worms. Anti-helminthic drugs are very effective against these parasitic worms while causing minimal harm to the human host. These drugs are occasionally known as your vermifuge or your vermicides. First among our common anti-helminthic drugs is your mebendazole. Mebendazole is highly effective against pinworms, roundworms, whipworms, and hookworms. As a huge number of helminthic infections are found in children, mebendazole commonly comes as a chewable tablet or as a syrup. This facilitates easier administration to younger children. Mebendazole is poorly absorbed systemically and is excreted in the feces. When the child takes mebendazole, the drug will directly act on the worms, and usually, within the same day, these worms are expelled in the feces, or in certain cases, in the emesis or in the vomitus. Mebendazole is generally safe for children, however, it should be avoided for pregnant women. Mebendazole is generally well tolerated and has few side effects. Another very common anti-helminthic drug is your pyrantel. Here in the Philippines, Combantrin is one of the more popular brands for pyrantel, together with your Antiminth and Pin-X. Pyrantel is effective for pinworms and roundworms. These are usually given as a single oral dose to children. Also, just like your mebendazole, pyrantel is available in easy chewable tablets or in syrup form. Like your mebendazole, pyrantel is also poorly absorbed and directly affects the worms. After taking the single oral dose, the worms are usually excreted via feces, or again in certain cases, through emesis. Usually, When deworming is done, especially in schools or in health centers, the children are given a single dose of pyrantel in the morning, and later on, after lunch or sometimes early afternoon, the child will defecate, and you can observe the worms, which are now dead by that time, when the child after the child defecates. Or in certain cases, the child will vomit, and together with the emesis are the dead worms. Albendazole is related to your mebendazole and is effective for cysticercosis or for the pork tapeworm, also for dog tapeworm infections. Albendazole should be avoided in pregnancy and also in lactating women because of the serious side effects it can cause. Albendazole is not only indicated for humans, but is also used in veterinary medicine, especially for deworming in dogs and cats and other common pets. Another popular antihelminthic that we have is your ivermectin. Ivermectin is effective against onchocerciasis, or the river blindness disease, caused by your Onchocerca volvulus. It is also effective against strongyloidiasis. Ivermectin should be used with caution in lactating women and should be avoided in pregnant women. Just like the other antihelminthics that we have discussed, ivermectin is also used in veterinary medicine. However, contrary to what was purported during the COVID pandemic, ivermectin is not an effective drug against the coronavirus. Ivermectin is an antihelminthic, antiparasitic, and is not an antiviral drug. Another drug that we will be discussing is your praziquantel. This is the drug of choice for schistosomes, or the flukes, that cause schistosomiasis. It is also effective against other flatworm infections. Praziquantel has been a staple drug in deworming, especially in rural areas, where schistosomiasis and other flatworm infections are quite common. Praziquantel has very few side effects and is very well tolerated. Praziquantel is also used in veterinary medicine. There you have it, my dear nurses, and I hope that you learned a lot about antihelminthics in our discussion today. Thank you for listening.